curiosity, how many of you is this your first time here? Nice. Absolutely. Well, I hope you guys enjoy it. This is 1 Million Cups. It's a program of the Kauffman Foundation out of Kansas City, and our goal is to get promotion and familiarity in the community with our startups here in Tampa Bay. And the key to doing that is you guys, is the audience. We have a Q&A period after each presentation. And what we'd really like to see is advice, questions. Maybe there was something you didn't understand in the pitch. But also, if you know somebody who can use their product, if you know somebody who would be a great addition to their team, if you know somebody who has a ton of money and wants to just invest in it at really low rates, please speak up and let them know, see our presenters afterwards. My name is Sean Kennedy. This is The Greenhouse. I am one of the organizers of 1 Million Cups, along with John Morrow, who is manning the camera ably back there. We also have Danielle Whiteloff, who can't be with us this morning, Ruben Pressman, who can't be with us this morning, and Richard Wood, who is with us in spirit this morning. He's out in Kansas City's 1 Million Cups this morning. Our first presenter, Monica with Dovetail Care, who's going to come up and just want to make sure you've got your mic and you're ready to go, and we'll get started. It's Monica.
Thanks, Sean. Good morning. First of all, I'd like to see a show of hands. How many of you have an elderly parent that you're taking care of? How many of you have a parent that's still alive today? About a quarter of all of Americans are taking care of an elderly parent at this point in their lives. We're called the sandwich generation. We're there between raising our children and our families, taking care of our elderly parents, and we're smack dab in the middle, trying to sustain our careers and our relationships. And it's a situation that's new to our society, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. Okay. Forward. You know, it was funny when it was in the movies. Remember, we all watched Macaulay Culkin trying to outsmart those nitwit robbers and take care of himself while he was at home. It was great for the movies, but it's not the same when it's our parents living alone now that they're getting older. What was once home sweet home, where we had all the memories and we enjoyed growing up there, now our parents remain in those houses, and think of it differently now that they're older. You know, all of those tchotchkes that your parents had sitting around are now hazards. All the throw rugs that were so pretty then are tripping hazards for them as well. So there's a lot of challenges, there's a lot of fears that our parents live with on a daily basis. Pew Research did a study and asked elderly people, where do you want to die? I guess it's a question we should all answer at some point. 95% of them said, I want to die at home. So that means we need a solution about aging in place. How are we going to keep people in their homes and allow them to live, to flourish, and eventually die there in their own home the way they want? We have a solution for you. We're Reunion Care. This is our senior product of Dovetail Care. We use technology to connect you to your parents and to all your family, their caregivers, together in one circle. We do it to keep them safe. And this is the reason why. You know, there's a lot that's going on in the healthcare industry today. We all know about the Affordable Care Act, the good and the bad of the Affordable Care Act. But the whole idea behind it is our healthcare system has gotten to be so incredibly expensive, and we have really poor outcomes. You know, a doctor prescribes one thing, goes to the hospital, they change it to something else. There's all these competing forces out there that are bombarding your parents with what they need to do. And then you, as a family member, get snippets of information of what's going on. Our goal is to create one unified record that's not just about your healthcare, but it's about your daily life. Do you know, on average, an American only interfaces with the healthcare system about 4% of the time. So that means 96% of the time you're on your own. You're at home, taking care of yourself. That's where your health happens. Healthcare happens when you go to the doctor's office, but health happens every day. So how do we involve your family, the community resources around you, everyone together so that we're all on the same page? But here's our secret sauce. We don't just aggregate that information, but we give it to the individual. We give it to the senior. They make their decisions, and they invite you in to be a part of their plan, their life plan. So we unite all of these people together under one single plan. Do you remember the days when we used our canceled checks in the mail. You're probably too young to remember that, but most of us remember you used to get a paper statement and you got your checks and you put them in order. And that's how we did our banking, right? We looked backwards and we did our banking. Today we do it all online. And why do we do that? Because it keeps us informed, empowered, and independent. No one thinks about it anymore. We all get to do our banking on our own. We can do the same thing with healthcare and with your parents' care as well. We can unite all of these people together into one circle under the same care plan, working together on behalf of our parents so they can age in place. Our primary customers are businesses. We have software as a service. We sell it on a business-to-business model, and the reason is the kind of information that we create, that business intelligence is so important to these hospitals, physician practices, insurance companies, because it's real-time information about how someone's doing on a daily basis. We sell it to them. Our model is scalable, and it's designed for rapid deployment. Our secondary market, of course, is all of us. We have it designed so it's white labeled. Our name goes on the bottom, your name goes on top. We have a content management system so that we include your narrative as an active part of Dovetail, of Reunion Care. It says exactly what your message is. Our feature set can switch out. If you want a store feature on there where you can feature certain products, we put those on. If you want specific communications, we put those in there. We can fashion it however it suits your business best. And we cost pennies on the dollar for our service, compared to what it costs for expensive insurance-based nurse case managers the way we do it today. Now this is how it works. A client invites a senior in to set up an account. They in turn invite family members to join them on their account. The brains of the operation is the communication portal. That's where all the networking takes place. That's where all the communication in real time happens constantly. The care portal is where the care plan, one unified care plan that everyone lives under. Everyone works for the same goals, and the goals are set by the senior. We have planning tools and assessments to teach family members how to become active team members, to train them on what they need to do to keep their family members aging in place, safe and healthy. And we have assessments so that you know how they're doing in terms of their activities of daily living and their orientation status, which is very important to be able to keep them at home. In summary, think about it. The way we take care of our parents is the way our children will take care of us. Would you like to perpetuate the system we have now where we ship people off to nursing homes, assisted living? Or would you like to find a better way where we remain in the community, as part of the community, with our families together? That's our goal with Dovetail Care. Any questions? Yes.
I saw in one of the parts about the financial area, and I've seen over the course of my life several people in this market who have a lot of money, and they had people swoop in and take care of them, and by the time it was all over, all their money was gone.
Absolutely.
Is there a way in this model that the family and everybody can watch that happening and stop it?
Absolutely. Thanks, Art. That's really important to our model. You know, a lot of things happen as we age, and we want to maintain as much control as we can. So we think the one way we maintain control is to be able to shield ourselves and take care of our money, because it's very important to us. But the reality is, the system is too complex. We have a vault where you can put all your financial documents in there. You give access to the persons you want to have access. It doesn't mean open access to everyone that joins into your circle. But you can designate a power of attorney that will be able to go in and take a look at what you have and help you to monitor that. It's very important that we keep an eye on the seniors' finance. Not just for that reason, but I'm a clinical social worker, and I can tell you that, you know, when the day comes and someone has to decide between medicine and that second, you know, eating lunch or having dinner, that's a sad day that no one wants to admit to. And when you have an idea of what their finances are, you can supplement that. You can make sure that they have meals there so that that decision doesn't have to be made. It's something constructive that we can do to help our parents without saying, oh, I'm giving you a handout. It's just a way to support them and extend their ability to remain independent. Yes, sir?
You're offering a web portal and service.
Yes.
Are you also offering social workers or caregiving or anything else?
We don't offer service, we offer the technology. And that's why we sell to businesses that already have those services. So we are the technology that connects them together. We don't offer those outright. But as you can tell by my design, it's designed as if it's a virtual social worker. Because to me that's very important. To connect in your community resources as well as your healthcare, everything together into one circle.
Are you saying it notifies it's next to Ken whenever he's got a low balance in his account?
No, it doesn't do that. But it does, we have an alert my circle when an issue does, when a crisis does occur, it does alert the circle. But no, it doesn't monitor your finances to do that, and I never even thought about that, to be honest.
Do you, does the senior take care of all this? Does the senior input all this?
The senior does not input all this, the senior starts the account. And we have ways that guide them through and pop-ups that come to ask them particular questions. But more, we're relying on the boomers, we're relying on their children to actually input a lot of the other information. We also use home health agencies that actually they send out their social workers, and their social workers are populating most of the site to begin with, to get their site up and running and to put in a lot of these documents. So no, we're not relying on seniors to have the technology skills to be able to do all these things. We provide assistance to make that happen. Yes, sir?
So to understand, you provide to one of the service providers who buys the software,
Yes.
and then they make it available to the family or the recipients?
Yes, yes. They start with the senior, and then the senior identifies who they want to invite to join into their circle. So it's the senior's choice of, I'd like to invite all my children, I'd like to invite my brothers and sisters, my pastor, whoever they want to invite in to be a part of their circle.
Yeah. Just so that you know that I absolutely love what it offers to a family to bring everybody into the loop. And it'd be problematic for a family not to have access to it if they knew about it and realized what was available to them for the reasons that people are bringing up. So as a secondary potential, there's probably an offering that can be made with many of the services to individuals because maybe their service providers aren't yet on board and offering it.
Thank you. Yes, I would agree. Thank you.
So what is the cost? Oh, sorry about that.
Ladies first.
What is the cost?
We have a licensing fee. It's an annual licensing fee that we charge to the business, and then we have a seat fee that every time someone else signs on, it charges them a seat fee for that individual user. And that's how we work that. Seat. Subscription, sorry.
S-E-A-D.
S-E-A-T.
S-E-A-T.
Seat.
Yeah.
Seat on the floor. seat
Yeah.
on the ground.
So
Sorry.
you're set up for businesses right now.
Yes.
But you don't market directly to individuals.
We don't market directly to individuals, but
Because I
Point
looked
well
at your
taken.
website just now. And, if I'm a business with 100 people and I think 20 are going to sign up, what's my license fee and then what is per the 20 user fee?
when we set up our license fee, we did it for large groups looking at insurance companies because that's where the transitions of care and coordination, all those issues lie the heaviest. So we set it up for large groups. So the smallest group would be 500 people. So if you bought a license, if you have 100 people at your company and each of them invites 6 people to be a part of their circle, now we have 700 people.
Oh, so you're charging for the individual, like if I have a family with 18 people that want to sign up, then
Right.
each one of those 18 has to pay the fee.
Yes, no, the company pays the fee on behalf of those individuals. Yes.
Okay, so for 500 people signed up, what's the license fee and then what's the per site seat fee?
It's $25,000 is the licensing fee for the software and all the related services for the year, and the seat fee is $179 a person.
Okay, so I mean, you're marketing direct to big companies.
Yes.
So you're kind of reaching, coming out here today to this group.
Yeah, but the feedback's great.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is integrating with smart home companies something on your roadmap down the road? You know, folks that do, remote monitoring of the house, and
and Alzheimer's care, because really those are the people with the greatest needs for coordination at this point. Yeah, that's a perfect time. Yes, sir.
Does this all reside on your servers?
Yes, it does.
What kind of security issues or security provisions have you made so that it's unhackable theoretically?
We're still in the process of building it out so that it is unhackable. We have a HIPAA attorney who is doing the total review on it, and we'll have a seal of approval that we've met HIPAA, which is the healthcare standard for storage, transmit, and of data. So I promise you we will have the highest level. And the other thing is, with our vault full of all of your documents and reports and so forth, those sit on a separate server than does the program that runs on a daily basis. So we segregate information as much as possible to keep those vital records safe as if they were sitting in a bank vault. So we sort those out from the rest of the system. Yes, sir?
Is this product live already or is it in beta phase?
We've finished beta, and we're getting ready to put up our first client in 60 days. It's the 12 home health agencies here in Florida, and we're tweaking it to make the feature set match exactly the way they want it.
So it's going to be a cloud-based portal?
Yes, it will be.
Will it be an app too?
You know, for us it's a platform, it's not an app. And the reason is because we're comprehensive. You know, we don't want to be just a piece of the system, and I guess that's my social work background that brings that out in me. You know, you have to look at a person's entire life, not just a tiny segment of it. So I kind of bristle at the idea of an app being like just a portion of it. I want it to be the entire system. Does that make sense to you? Any other questions? Laurie? Oh.
You mentioned earlier in your slide you do white labeling for organizations. What are examples of those organizations you white label for?
For insurance companies, for home health agencies. You know, we have all these new models where you notice your doctors are now going into larger groups, and they're taking risk contracting. So those larger group of doctors, those sort of things. So we're looking at healthcare organizations that are on a magnitude. Back there first.
Are they, it seems that someone has to own this, so you're saying it's the health organization, do they assign an administrator that reviews
Yes.
this data?
Yes. And we use their user identification system, and it remains, they are the administrators of the account. You're absolutely right.
Your success would be highly dependent on that role
Yes.
in a given organization.
In the family.
And the family maintains their own circle, yes. But as the entire account, yes, it's owned by the organization.
Seems like he's the sergeant.
Yes, which we work with closely. Yes. Yes, sir.
Will there come a day that we, at my age range, can start setting one of these up? So when it's time to transition into something more comprehensive, I've already got my database, if you will, ready to go.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of leveraging myself into this in advance.
Yeah, you know, that's really the goal, because I have no illusions that an 89-year-old frail elderly woman living alone is going to sit at her computer and input all this. I mean, it really is us, the boomers, who are sitting in the middle between our children and our parents, who will be making these accounts. And then the goal is that you'll do the same for yourself as you get older. You'll put your declarations in there. You'll say exactly how you want your life to lay out over the long term, and who you want to have involved in that journey. So that is the goal. I'm really targeting us.
Okay.
Yes. Lori, sorry.
Is there any advantage of the insurance companies or the healthcare companies using this at this stage with Obamacare, or just?
There's an extreme advantage. Not to get too much into the healthcare weeds, but there's this whole program that goes throughout Obamacare. It's called Meaningful Use. And it's the whole thing about physicians getting electronic health records and the whole system adopting technology. Along the way, there are thresholds called meaningful use. Stage 2 meaningful use means that your doctor, last one of you, when you go to the doctor's office, they should now be able to give you a summary of that visit. That's a big step forward for our healthcare system. But stage 3 of meaningful use means that your doctors have to give you complete access, and hospitals and so forth, have to give you complete access to your records. So all of a sudden, the system that used to be owned over to be ownership by you. It will look more like our banking system by 2017 than it does our healthcare system now. You notice now how your information is shielded behind, it appears that your doctor owns it, the hospital owns your information. In a few years, that will be your information. It will be easily accessible to you, and that's the goal in the long run. So yes, it does. It has a lot to do with the Affordable Care Act. But whether that survives or not, these changes will happen for all of us down the road. Yes, Sean?
The companies you're selling to, what is the ideal size? How many employees does this start to be great with?
The number of employees of a company, I can't answer it that way. I can answer it in terms of the number of people that they have. When you look at a physician's profile, a physician usually has about 2,000 patients on their panel, on average, okay? What we're looking at is a group of 500 people is where we start to target. So we're talking, if a physician has 2,000 people on their panel, if a quarter of them sign on, then that's the group we're talking about.
Misunderstood.
Yeah.
Versus an insurance company that has millions of patients.
Right, right. And we scale to those just fine. Yes, Ruben?
So you just finished beta testing, you're getting started to do like a full launch with your first company. Where do you see this in 5 years? Like, what's your ultimate dream to see this grow into? I know Rez was talking about some home automation and stuff, and I've seen another company, I think it started a weekend that was monitoring trends of, oh, they use the oven at this time, and they use the microwave at this time, and they do this, and today they skip something. Where do you see this going in 5 years of the technology?
Yeah, I think that those are going to be great tie-ins as time goes by, and the reason is we don't live near our parents anymore. So that real-time monitoring that you're talking about of their activity is very important. At the same time, we need to have real-time monitoring of their medications, of their healthcare providers, everyone. That needs to tie into one giant system, and that is the ultimate goal, is that all that unites into one giant system that works for all of us. Yes?
I've worked developmentally disabled and mental health as well. This looks like a model that would be extraordinarily helpful for those adult populations too.
I'll kiss her. It truly is. It works well with a lot of behavioral disorders and that sort of thing. Thank you. Yeah. That is our expansion. We can target many of the groups where support is needed. Let's be honest. There are a lot of people that need support to remain independent within a community, and that's our goal. Is we can provide that support and meet them and keep them independent.
I.e. autism.
Autism. Yes. Yes, sir.
So how can we help you grow your business?
Well, I'm always looking for money. We are looking for investors, and I'd be happy to talk to anyone that would like to talk about that. Yes, we are a B2B model. We are looking at a retail-based model as well. You'd be happy to know we are looking at retail as well. We're starting out in the insurance industry because we have a heavy background in that, and we know that that's a pretty good get when we get those.
And you need to recoup some pretty good start.
Yeah, true. That's right. So that's what we can do. So please stop me afterward. I'd love to talk to you individually. Thank you for your time.